This morning, as the world slowly awakens and the first light touches the earth, take a quiet moment to breathe and feel the presence of God. There is something sacred about the stillness of early hours before the noise begins, before your thoughts are crowded with responsibilities, before fear has a chance to whisper. In that stillness, God calls you to come close, to dwell in His presence, and to rest under His shadow. For it is in that place that true protection, peace, and strength are found. The Scriptures remind us, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Those words are not just ancient poetry, they are living truth. This secret place is not hidden from you, it is open, waiting, and available every time you turn your heart toward God. It's not a physical location, it's a spiritual position. It's when your soul says, "God, I trust you more than what I see. I rest in your care, even when life feels uncertain." You see, divine protection is not about escaping life's battles. It's about being shielded within them. The storms may still come, but when your life is anchored in God's presence, those storms cannot destroy you. Fear may knock, but it cannot enter the heart that is already full of faith. When you rest under the shadow of the Almighty, you are resting under the power of the One who commands the universe. Think about what a shadow really is. A shadow only exists when something stands between you and the light. God's shadow means that He stands between you and harm. He stands between you and your fears, your worries, and your enemies. It is a reminder that you are not exposed to life's harshness alone. You are covered by divine care. When you step into the day covered by His shadow, you don't walk into uncertainty, you walk into His protection. Every morning, when your eyes open, God gives you a choice. Will you rush into the day on your own strength, or will you pause and enter His presence first? The choice determines not just how your day unfolds, but how your heart responds to whatever comes. The world may be filled with danger, but when your heart abides in God, no weapon formed against you can prosper. Prayer is not a ritual, it's a refuge. It's the sacred space where you meet your Maker and exchange your weakness for His strength. It's where your trembling heart finds courage. When you pray, "Lord, cover me with your wings today," you are not speaking empty words, you are calling upon the eternal promise of God's protection. Some people think protection means nothing bad will ever happen. But the truth is, divine protection means that no evil will have the final word. God doesn't always keep us from the fire, but He walks with us through it. He doesn't always stop the storm, but He gives us peace in the middle of it. That's why resting in His presence is more powerful than running from fear. Because when you are hidden in God, nothing can touch you without His permission, and whatever He allows, He uses for your good. Maybe today you're carrying something heavy: worry about your future, anxiety about your family, fear about your health. Maybe you've been praying for something that hasn't changed, and you're beginning to wonder if God still sees you. My friend, He does. He has not forgotten you. His silence is not absence. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply to stay still and say, "Lord, I trust you even when I don't understand." That is what it means to rest in His presence. When you rest in God, you are declaring that you believe in His faithfulness more than in your fear. You're saying, "God, I don't know what today holds, but I know who holds me." And that is where divine protection begins, not with walls or weapons, but with surrender. Because when you surrender your will to God's will, His strength becomes your armor. The peace of God is not the absence of conflict, it is the assurance of His control. That's why Jesus said, "My peace I give to you, not as the world gives." The world offers comfort that fades, but God offers peace that remains even when everything else is shaking. It is a peace that keeps your heart steady even when your surroundings are uncertain. There's a story told of a bird that built its nest in the crack of a cliff, right behind a roaring waterfall. The thunder of the water was deafening, the air was full of mist and spray, yet inside that little nest the bird sat calmly, feeding its young. That is what resting in God's presence looks like. The world can roar around you, but your heart can be at peace because you are hidden under His wings. Each morning, before you take a single step, whisper a simple prayer. Lord, I rest in you today. I choose to dwell in your presence. Be my refuge, my shield, my strength. When you make that prayer your habit, you will notice that fear begins to lose its grip. The same situations that used to shake you will no longer break you, because your confidence is no longer in yourself, it's in God's covering. When you live under His shadow, you learn to see the world differently. You begin to recognize that even in difficulties, God's hand is guiding you. Even in delays, He is preparing something greater. Even in pain, He is refining your heart. The enemy wants you to believe you're alone, but you are not. God is closer than your breath. He is your refuge, and when you rest in Him, you are protected not because you are strong, but because He is. There are moments when protection looks like prevention, when God keeps something from happening. But there are also moments when protection looks like endurance, when He carries you through what you thought would destroy you. In both, His presence is your constant shelter. You may not always understand how He works, but you can always trust that He is working for your good. So when fear tries to rise in your heart, remember this. The same God who kept Daniel safe in the lion's den, who shielded Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire, who protected David from the hand of Saul, that same God is watching over you today. His promises did not expire with time. His protection did not weaken with age. He is still mighty to save, and perhaps the most beautiful thing about resting in God's presence is that it transforms you from the inside out. When your heart is at rest in Him, you begin to carry that peace wherever you go. You become a living testimony that faith can conquer fear. People may ask, "How are you so calm when everything is falling apart?" And your answer will not be about your strength, it will be about His shadow. The world is filled with noise, constant voices trying to pull your attention in every direction, but the voice of God is gentle, it speaks in stillness. It whispers, "Be still and know that I am God." When you take time to rest in that stillness, you begin to hear His guidance. You begin to sense His protection even before the day unfolds. Resting in God's presence doesn't mean inactivity, it means confidence. It means walking into your day knowing you are covered. You can work, move, and live freely, not because you are immune to problems, but because you are surrounded by His promises. You can face the unknown because you know who walks beside you. This kind of rest requires faith to believe that God's unseen hand is stronger than visible trouble. Faith to believe that His timing is perfect, even when your patience runs thin. Faith to believe that His protection is greater than any plan of the enemy. When you hold on to that kind of faith, nothing can shake you. So this morning, take your fears, your doubts, your anxieties, and place them at His feet. Say, "Lord, I can't carry these anymore, but I know you can." That moment of surrender is where divine peace begins. The weight you've been carrying is not yours to bear alone. God didn't design you to walk unprotected. He designed you to rest under His shadow. Maybe you've been trying to fight battles in your own strength. Maybe you've been running from fear instead of running to God. Today, stop running. Come back to that secret place, the place of prayer, the place of stillness, the place where His presence becomes your protection. When you do, you'll realize that you are never truly alone. You are surrounded by a presence that cannot be shaken, a love that cannot be measured, and a power that cannot be defeated. You may not always see it, but it's there a divine covering that follows you wherever you go. And when night comes again, when you lay your head to rest, you can close your eyes in peace, knowing that the same God who watched over you today will keep you through the night. For the one who never sleeps or slumbers is watching over you not from afar, but from right beside you. So, rise each morning with this confidence: I am under God's shadow. His presence is my refuge. His peace is my armor. His love is my protection. Because divine protection doesn't mean you'll never face trouble. it means you'll never face it alone. Rest, therefore, in His presence, trust in His covering, and remember that as long as you dwell under the shadow of the Almighty, no darkness, no danger, and no fear can overcome the light of His love. When you open your eyes to a new morning, before the noise of the world fills your thoughts, there is a still, sacred moment. It is the moment where peace waits to enter your heart, and strength begins to stir in your soul. The light creeping through your window isn't just another sunrise, it's a reminder that God has given you another chance to live, to trust, and to walk under His covering. Each morning is not merely a continuation of yesterday, it is a divine invitation to begin again. When we awaken, our minds often rush toward the responsibilities of the day, the work that must be done, the challenges that await, the fears that still linger from yesterday. But the Spirit of God gently calls us to pause. Before we step into the demands of the world, He calls us to step into His presence. Morning prayer is not a ritual of words, it is the awakening of the heart. It is where anxiety bows before assurance, and chaos is silenced by calm. When we come to God in the quiet of the morning, we are not trying to escape life's troubles, we are aligning ourselves with the source of life itself. The Bible says, "In returning and rest you shall be saved, in quietness and confidence shall be your strength." Those words remind us that peace and strength are not found in striving, but in surrendering. The strongest people are not those who can handle everything alone, but those who know where to rest their burdens. To awaken in prayer is to declare, "Lord, I can't control this day, but I know you can." It's to place every unknown into His hands, trusting that He has already gone before you. Before the first challenge arises, before the first word is spoken, before the first decision must be made, He is there. The God who watches over the night does not leave when morning comes. He walks beside you into the light. There's a reason Scripture often speaks of seeking God early. The morning represents a new beginning, a clean page, a fresh mercy. The book of Lamentations says, "His mercies are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." What a promise that is, that no matter how dark yesterday felt, God renews His grace with the dawn. Every sunrise is heaven's reminder that your failures are not final, your fears are not permanent, and your future is still unfolding under divine care. But to experience that peace, we must choose it. We must make the decision to start our day not with distraction, but with devotion. Many people wake up and reach for their phone, they check messages, scroll through news, absorb noise before they've even spoken to God. And with that noise comes worry. The mind begins to run before the heart has rested. But if we will first reach for prayer instead of technology, peace will find its way into our day before stress ever does. When you begin your morning in prayer, you are not just reciting words, you are building a shield around your soul. Prayer reorders your thoughts, refocuses your heart, and reminds you that you are not alone. You might not know what the day holds, but you know who holds the day, and that truth brings strength that the world cannot take away. You may say, "But I've prayed before, and my problems didn't disappear." That's because prayer isn't magic, it's relationship. It doesn't remove every storm, but it gives you peace in the middle of it. It doesn't always change the situation, but it always changes you. When you pray sincerely, God plants something inside of you that cannot be shaken, a quiet confidence that no matter what comes, you are covered, protected, and loved. There is a calm that only prayer can create. It is the calm that Daniel had when he faced the lions, the peace that David carried when he stood before Goliath, the strength that Jesus displayed when he faced the cross. None of them found that power in themselves. They found it in communion with God. Prayer doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger to face it. Imagine the difference it makes when you rise each morning and whisper, "Lord, thank you for this day. Lead me, protect me, and give me peace." That simple act shifts the atmosphere. It centers your spirit. It tells your mind that no matter how loud the world becomes, your heart is anchored in something unshakable. When you invite God into the beginning of your day, His presence extends through every part of it. Sometimes we think peace will come once everything is fixed, once the job is secure, once the bills are paid, once the relationships are healed. But peace isn't the result of perfection, it's the result of presence. When you carry the presence of God in your heart, you can stand steady even when life isn't. The same God who guided you yesterday is guiding you today. The same strength that carried you through the night is available now in the quiet of the morning. And that strength is not loud. It doesn't announce itself with thunder. It comes softly in the form of a verse that stirs your heart, a whisper of reassurance, a sense that even though you can't see the way, you are not walking alone. God's strength is not always seen in the removal of obstacles, but in the endurance He gives you to climb over them. Morning prayer draws that strength out of you, not because you are powerful, but because the one within you is. You may face moments today where fear tries to rise again. A phone call may bring bad news. A meeting may go wrong. A friend may disappoint you. In those moments, remember the peace you found in the morning. Go back to that secret place in your heart. Whisper again, "Lord, I trust you." That simple sentence can silence 1,000 worries, because peace is not a one-time feeling, it is a continuous posture of trust. Every time you choose prayer over panic, you strengthen your spirit. Every time you choose gratitude over grumbling, you guard your heart. Every time you begin your day in worship, you remind your soul that God is bigger than whatever lies ahead. Morning prayer awakens this rhythm of divine confidence within you. It reminds you that you are not defined by your circumstances, but by His presence. If you've ever watched the sunrise, you know that darkness doesn't disappear all at once. It fades slowly as light takes its place. That's how peace works. As you spend time with God in the morning, the shadows of fear begin to fade, and the light of His truth begins to fill your heart. You may not notice it immediately, but by the time you step into the world, your spirit carries a different glow, the glow of trust. And strength, true strength, doesn't always look like boldness or energy. Sometimes it looks like quiet endurance. It looks like a person who should be anxious, yet walks calmly, someone who should be discouraged, yet keeps believing, someone who could give up, yet chooses to stand firm. That kind of strength is not born from the world. It is born in prayer. So each morning, when you open your eyes, speak to your Heavenly Father. Tell Him your fears, your hopes, your plans. Ask for His protection, His wisdom, His covering. And then listen, because prayer is not only speaking, it is also hearing. God often whispers His peace in the moments we stop talking. You might hear Him say, "Be still, I am with you." That whisper carries more power than the loudest noise of the world. There will be days when prayer feels easy, and days when it feels heavy. There will be mornings when words flow freely, and mornings when all you can say is, "Lord, help me," but even that short prayer reaches His heart. God does not measure your prayers by length or eloquence, He measures them by sincerity. A single sentence spoken in faith carries the weight of heaven, and as you continue to make morning prayer a part of your life, something beautiful happens. You begin to notice God in the small things, in the sunrise, in a kind word, in moments of unexpected peace. You begin to walk with an awareness that He is near, and that awareness becomes your greatest protection. The more you rest in Him, the less the world can shake you. So today, let your morning prayer awaken both peace and strength within you. Let it remind you that you are never alone. Let it fill your heart with gratitude, your mind with clarity, and your spirit with courage. No matter what lies ahead, you have already met the most important part of your day, the presence of God. And when you rise from prayer and step into your day, do it with quiet confidence. You are walking under divine protection. You are resting under His shadow, and as you move through the hours ahead, remember this truth. Nothing that comes against you is greater than the one who goes before you. So breathe deeply, lift your head. Smile at the morning light, for the Lord your God is with you in your thoughts, in your steps, in your struggles, and in your victories. His peace will carry you. His strength will sustain you, and as the sun sets on this day, you will look back and see that every moment was held in His hands. Because when morning prayer awakens peace and strength within you, it doesn't just change your day, it changes your life.